Hello, and welcome into a super personal, what are we going to call it? Work through of the information in real time, because apparently last time I filed it away under, we don't need that right now, but apparently this is the lesson. This is the lesson of Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So we're going to say trigger warning. This is going to discuss sexual assault. If your energy body isn't ready to begin to process any of that, and it triggers you as it used to me. I used to have to run away. If I heard someone else mention it, I would just go away, trigger, because that meant I had to relive my own emotions. But now I realize I was being triggered because I was being asked to work through it. So how can I even begin this story this morning? One of my favorite books that I have that we use is this astrological planner, the Daily Planetary Guide. Lelwyn, I'm not sure how to, anyway, when I first got this, so I get my I get my calendars for the year in months in advance. So I don't know, October, November, something like that, I had this planner in my hands already for this year, and I was looking ahead and I was having fun looking at where the planets would go retrograde and things like that and whatnot. And what came to my attention was Saturn retrograde at 19 degrees. And I have natal Saturn right opposite of that at 20 degrees. So at 20 degrees of Virgo is my natal Saturn. And then this Saturn retrograde would happen at 19. And so I thought, well, golly, that's awfully close to my natal Saturn opposition, almost exact. I said, wow, I wonder where Saturn was 30 years ago, right? Because, and this all happened, this is a conversation. The point of this video is that this is a conversation that happened with myself back when I got the book, and I buried it into my subconscious, and I completely forgot about it. And when I discovered it again today, it was like hearing the information for the very first time. Saturn is in retrograde, guys. Saturn is in retrograde in Pisces at 19 degrees, and he's headed backtrack a little bit, and then he's going to come back, touch 19 again, and then he'll go on and actually become exact opposition to my natal Saturn. So again, months and months ago, and again this morning, as if it was brand new information, I discovered where Saturn was 30 years ago. So 30 years ago, 1996-ish, right? 1996-ish, that Saturn was in Pisces before. And I do have the dates. Let me pull this up. So 1993 to 1996. Okay, so Saturn entered Pisces on May 21st, the day before my birthday, May 22nd. In 1993, when I was turning 13, and then Saturn left Pisces and entered Aries on April 7th, 1996. Now the date in question is January 6th, 1996. That's the date of my sexual assault. So I go and I'm like putting in, I'm like, oh, today. I was like, where was Saturn 30 years ago? And I go and I put it in and I'm like, oh, 1996. And then I'm like, oh, 1996 is when you were assaulted. And then I go, I wonder what degree he was at. And I put it in and I go back, and guess what degree? It's 19. It's exact, 19 exact. So, yeah. my my point here is I do a lot of good work around it. I do a lot of depth shadow work on what seems like on a daily basis. I lead other people through there so that we can work through and this and this and this and this. And so back in October, November, I prepared myself for the return, for the Saturn return of my sexual assault. But and I remember it now. I remember coming across this information and I remember going, wow, my mind is blown. I'm going to have to write something about this, blah, 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 blah. And in the last month or so, I'm having my Jupiter has come back to this place it was when Penelope was born, and the last time the girls visited Wisconsin, and all of these things. So I've been like distracting myself, and not on purpose. That's my point here, is that none of this has been on purpose, and that I was fully ready and wanting to do the work, but like, what is Saturn in Pisces? But it dissolves, and I was distracted, and I forgot until today. Almost, I mean, we're literally only about four months away from July, August, September, October. We're really about 4 months away from when I found out the information the first time. And I'm just now, as Saturn goes retrograde over the degree, being reminded to remember to come back to address. And thank goodness for this second chance in this retrograde, because if not for this moment, would I have remembered it all? So Saturn is such a good teacher. He's such a good teacher. And I talk a lot about people signing up for that plus package in their birth chart, and I thought that I had done that because in 2020 Uranus had made contact with my natal Chiron 5 times due to retrograde motion, and this year and the couple years since before this, Pluto is making contact with my natal ascendant 5 times. And people sign up for these hard lessons, and Saturn retrograde over your sexual assault return is deeply personal and deeply transformative. It's a beautiful teaching moment, and in genuine Gemini fashion, I wanted to share that with you in the hopes that this stuff might help one more person. So the sky offers these patterns, and somehow it trickles into my ear and I can hear the ethers, but the sky is offering you the same opportunity and the same information. We just kind of have to be open to it and in the flow of the universe and not fighting it. In this case, my subconscious tried to fight it. Does that make sense? My subconscious tried to make me forget about the continued work, because no work is ever done. No healing is ever healed. Does that make sense? So, thank you for being here. Thanks for witnessing this with me.